Hi, this is Steve here, and this is a Ford from a Ford 1997 F53 motorhome chassis. It's a multifunction switch, being left and right, high beam, low beam, squirter, delay, wiper, and the hazard switch. So I had one of these in my motorhome, and it failed. And I ordered a new one from Rock Auto, and they're about $60. Now, on YouTube, there's tons of videos on how to change these out. They're common in many type of Ford vehicles, F-150, Taurus, any number of vehicles. Very standard switch from about 1990 to 1999. So these are quite common. Now, like I said, there's tons of videos on how to change these, but you can actually open these up and repair them like I have. I've already done this one. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, it is a little daunting. It can be. In the first time I opened one of these, the parts went flying, and I ended up with things all over my bench. But inevitably, I got it back together, and all is well now. And I'll show you why these things fail. So, what will you need to take this apart? Okay, and it does come apart. You'll need a T10 Torx screwdriver. You'll need a small little straight jeweler's screwdriver, and you'll need some emery cloth, and I used 1500 and 320 grit. Okay, so the best way to get this thing apart, and again, don't worry if you take it apart and parts go flying, because there is a place for everything inside, and you can get it back together. Okay, so to take it apart, you can hold it like this because you don't want parts to go flying. So there's 5 Torx screws on the perimeter there. So you take your T10 Torx screwdriver and you remove those 5 Torx screws. Now, the failure mode of my particular switch was only one problem. The right turn signal did not work. It would, sometimes if you held it on halfway, it would come on, and it was quite intermittent. But the brake lights, your hazard lights, all your controls for your rear tail lights and your flashers go through this switch, which is can cause all kinds of funny problems. A lot of people have complained their brakes don't work, and when they turn their high beams, when they put their flashers on, then lights don't go on, and et cetera, et cetera. So I can show you why that happens, because there's a very common problem with these switches. So what you do is you remove those 5 T10 screws here. Okay, hold it together like I'm showing you here, because it will go flying. Now, first thing you want to do is open this thing up like a clam, okay? And make sure that you have it in this is the high beam, low beam. So make sure you have it in the low beam selector here, and then open up the switch. Okay, now don't be scared when you see this. So you open up this switch, and it's good. These things didn't go flying. So the first thing you want to do is take your little screwdriver, and there's a Molex connector back here for the delay and squirters. So you just take your screwdriver in the corner here, and you just kind of pry it out. It's not locked or anything. Just take the corner of it here and pry it out, and out it comes. Okay, so there you go, and that part comes off. Lay that down here. Now, this is the high beam, low beam slide here, and you'll see I have it in that position, and there's a reason for that. So we'll come back to that. We'll leave that there. Let's take off the turn signal handle. Okay, let's lay that there. This is the left turn, right turn slide. We'll take that off there. And this is the cancellation cog. When you return the wheel the opposite direction, this little button hits a cog on the steering column and cancels your right turn or left turn. Okay? And the other thing you have to watch is the first time I took mine apart here, this is the hazard button, and it's just sitting in there now, and it can go flying. And there's a little spring down in the bottom here. Let me take it apart and show you. Okay, there's a spring sits in a hole here. So when I first took mine apart, it went completely flying. So don't be discouraged if that happens. It's just this spring here fits in this little channel here, a little hole in the bottom of the switch. And then there's a finger down at the bottom of the switch here, which the end of the spring fits in. And then you just simply fit it in, and you can actually articulate it, and it'll stay down, and then hit it again and it'll go up. So just leave that there for now. Okay, now if you look at these switches inside, they have this goopy Vaseline type of compound in here to keep the switch well lubricated, which is great. However, it does cause some problems eventually. In my case, when I took the switch apart, this has all been cleaned, by the way. When I took mine apart, all these contact surfaces were full of this, it looked like grease, and they were corroding with green copper corrosion around the edges, and they were just junky all inside of here. So I took my screwdriver and I scraped off as much as I could, cleaned it as best I could. Then with the 320 grits, grit emery, I just roughed up all these contacts, and as you can see now, they're all nice and shiny. This is the high beam, low beam switch. That can come out. And also in here, that's where the contacts sit for the high beam, low beam. That was all gunged up in there too. So there's a post here, which fits in the back of that. And also, this was all dirty. So I've cleaned all in here, okay? So you can see now everything's nice and shiny and coppery. And then the switch, the high beam, low beam switch, again, the junk was all over these contacts. So again, I took my 320, roughed that up, nice and shiny, and then took the 1500 and polished it. Made a nice clean surface for the high beam, low beam switch, okay? So this is the left turn, right turn signal. Now you can see here on the corner of the switch, there's some of that gunk that was on there, you see? And it's actually still there. So get rid of that. And then you want to scrape off all you can. Like when you take yours apart, if you dare to, you'll see all this. It'll be totally like this crap right here, everywhere. But if you look at the pins, the contacts are actually proud. So you don't have to go too crazy cleaning down there. You can take your 320 and then again, rough up the pins. Get the majority of the junk off them, you see. And then take your 1500 again and polish those contacts, because those are the contact surfaces that are going to make the switch work, okay? I'll leave that over there for now. And then this has no contacts, and there's contacts again on this hazard switch, which you can see. I don't want to take it apart because it'll go flying. I've taken and polished and cleaned just the proud contact points, okay? So now the switch and all the contacts are clean, so let's put it back together, okay? Okay, let's put it back together. So the first thing we're going to put in is the high beam, low beam switch. Like again, there's a little post in the back here, and in the rear there's a hole, okay? So of course the contacts go down to mate with here, and there's a little post that this switch, the slider fits on. It fits in that little channel. It's kind of hard to get in there, but you can do it there. And you can see how it articulates in and out for low beam and high beam, you see? Okay, you want to leave it about in a place where it's sticking out, because we're going to catch that high beam, low beam switch with the end of the finger of this switch here. That's what articulates that. You see? This will go high beam, low beam. See? Okay? So again, there's grease all over everything. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, let's put that over here. It's simple to put back together. You just got to be a little bit patient, okay? The first thing you want to do is put in this cancellation pole, and it goes in like this, and it fits on a little slide. So it can do that, you see? It can do that because it does articulate in and out, okay? There's a little channel in the back that holds it there, and that spring. Okay, so now to put in the left-right turn signal, you just hold that a little bit up like that, and then these two fingers here, these are the detents for the left and right, go underneath that cancellation pawl, okay? So you just hold, oh, see, it won't even do it now. Actually, you can even do it by doing it this way. They fit down in little channels here, and there's a little finger here in the back that catches that hole in the back. So you just kind of find its place there, and there, it goes in, okay? Perfect. Now, hold it like that, because everything's going to go flying, and then this cancellation pawl goes in here, there, underneath. It slides back and forth on that little channel in there, okay? See? And it slides in and out, in and out, in and out like that. My fingers are in the way, I know, but just hold it together. See that little spring is a keeper there, keeps it there, and it fits over top those fingers. And those two fingers that stuck out like that are to hold it left and right, okay? Watch this hazard switch, because if you bump it or something, it's going to go flying. So just make sure that's in, that cancellation cog is in. Now the next thing is this left and right turn signal actuator. So there's a couple of things about this. This has a hole here. You see the hole in the switch right here? That goes on a little pin above, underneath the high beam, low beam. There's a little pin, and this left and right turn signal just fits in here on that pin, okay? Okay, it just fits in there on that pin. Now, when you go left and right, that's going to articulate this left and right and slide onto these contacts. Now, okay, we're almost there. So, the other thing about the switches is a little finger here, and that mates with, let me put this down, I don't have to fly to pieces. That mates with a little channel right here in the switch. Let me show you. Right in here, there's a little channel, and that little finger rides in that channel. So let's put this back together, okay? Now the next thing we got to do is hook up our Molex connector, right? Which controls our delay and our squirter, okay? So that goes in that channel here, okay? And we just put that in there like that. Oops, you see, I've already lost parts, you see? It's okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is exactly what you can expect, okay? That goes in there, and you have to, see, I lost my thing. So we're having all these problems like I had first. So what you want to do is get that Molex connector in there, okay? And I hope you can see this because I can't really see. And then you just push it in, make sure it locks, okay? Now, of course, we got parts everywhere again, but that's okay. We'll just continue on here. Okay, so remember what I said. You can run out of fingers real quick. So we lost our, I can't do this now. Okay, let me put that down for now. Okay, there we go. Let's put that in there. This goes in here. Grab our switch. And like I said, this can go flying. So just put this down in there. It's a little post. Get it to sit down in there. Okay, come on, bum. Okay, that's sitting there. Good, good. Now our Molex connector is in. The switch is in. Okay. That's behaving itself. Let's go like that. Okay, now let's put the left and right turn signal in. On that little post in here. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. See, it's sitting on that post. Now the clam can go back together. Now watch that little finger here. This goes in that little channel on the back up in here, okay? It has to go in. It only goes one way, right? So let's put the clam back together. So we kind of take it and kind of fit it together. There we go. How does that look so far? Now we have to look. Okay, you see the finger caught. Now, for the high beam, low beam, you can look in this little window here and see the nylon high beam, low beam switch is caught and it's going in and out, which is correct. So we have the clam all back together there, right? So the best thing to do right now is get a couple of screws in it. So I'll take a T10 on one end, and I'll take another T10 over here. Okay. As you can see, it's a little tricky, and I did lose my hazard switch that time, which is common. The first time I did it, it went flying about 40 feet. That was fun looking for that spring. Okay, so get two Torx T10s in, get them tightened down, make sure you're all closed up all the way around. You see, that's back together, right? Okay. Tighten those down, and then just test your switch, see if it's working. Now, again, the high beam, low beam, that you can see in this little window here, the nylon of the switch articulating back and forth. So that's working. We're going to take our switch and go left, right? And to cancel it, we do that. And we can go right, and to cancel it, we do that. That's working. And of course, in and out, our squirter, and our delay. Okay, and then this is our hazard, right? Okay, so it looks all good. And we put in the rest of our T10 screws, just like that. Now, I've done this a few times, so I'm pretty good at it, but it is repairable. And if you do order a new one from Rock Auto or your Napa or whoever you deal with, AutoZone, Canadian Tire, whatever you are in the world, if you already have yours and you want a spare, and you can repair these, they are repairable. I've done two of these now, and this is my second one I've done, and it's fine. They all work perfectly, like brand new. So I didn't even need mine. I could have taken it apart and repaired it. So they are repairable. So there you go. That's a Ford, in this case a 97 F53, which is a motorhome chassis multifunction switch, and you can take them apart and repair them. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.